director of the Business Center. And our mission is to equip businesses with the tools they need to start, sustain, and expand their operations. So one of the ways that we do that is by offering sessions like this. And today I had the pleasure of introducing our presenters that are colleagues and friends of mine. And they're going to share with you the details of this new grant opportunity and then answer any questions that you might have. So first, I'd like to introduce Ken Scott. He is the CEO of Beech Companies, and he'll explain a little bit more about his role there in a few seconds. And then secondly, I'd like to introduce Jim Burnett. He is the Executive Director of West Philadelphia Financial Services Institution. Both of these are considered CDFI organizations. And what I mean by CDFI, that is a community development financial institution. And for this particular grant, that's who it's being administered by. So again, Ken and Jim will give you details about the process. But first, I'm going to have them explain their roles and the roles of their organization, and then talk about the grant opportunity. So Ken, we'll start with you again, and then we'll move to Jim.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Hopefully, let me know if you can hear me. Just my microphone. But I'm Ken Scott from the Beech Companies. We're located in North Central Philadelphia, and one of 8 organizations that come under the Beech Companies umbrella. Beech Capital is a community development financial institution that's working on this particular program, this grant opportunity, and along with the lending arm of the Beech Company. So we do a lot of lines of credit and small business lending under there. And then we have many buckets depending on where you're located on the opportunities. So
can everybody hear Ken?
Can everyone hear me?
Not clearly. Not clearly.
Can you talk a little louder, Ken?
How about now? Is that better?
That's better.
Okay. So again, I guess I'll start quickly. But again, I'm Ken Scott, I'm the president of the Beech Companies, and the Beech Companies consist of 8 different organizations, and one of the organizations is Beech Capital. Beech Capital is a community development financial institution that's working on this grant program as one of the organizations that you can contact with questions and actually apply to our website. And we also do small business lending, especially we do lots of lines of credit for organizations and nonprofits that are, that need the cash flow assistance. But you can go to our website, you can Google Beech Companies, or you can go directly to Beech, and Beech is spelled, by the way, B-E-E-C-H, Beech Interplex, INTERPLEX.com, and receive our information.
Oh man, I don't hear it.
Thank you, Ken and Jim. If you want to explain your role and your organization's role in this.
Sure, Pam. Thanks for having both Ken and I participate in this conversation. My name is
and if you're not speaking, I'm just going to ask you to mute your phone. I think we're getting some background sound from Kawana. So Kawana, welcome, and mute your phone.
So again, I'm Jim Burnett, Executive Director for West Philadelphia Financial Services Institution. I have been with the organization for 22 years and am excited to be a part of the 17 CDFI group that is able to bring $200 million to the state of Pennsylvania small businesses, and $100 million of which goes directly to historically disadvantaged businesses. The WPFSI provides small business loans, typically up to $100,000. And we work with businesses to develop strategies around their businesses. We also have business training programs that we put on with Delaware I'm sorry, Drexel University. In addition to that, like I said before, I am part of the leadership team, and sitting as the vice chair for the Pennsylvania CDFI network. Thank you.
So before we get into the discussion about what the requirements are for this particular grant, and I do want to emphasize it is a grant for small businesses, for-profit small businesses. I just want to take a moment to thank our supporters that make it possible for the business center to do programs such as this. And they would be Santander Bank, State Farm, West Philadelphia Financial Services Institution, Laborers Local 332, Beech Companies, Commerce Department, Community College of Philadelphia, Wells Fargo, Customers Bank, City Councilwoman Cindy Bass, Congressman Dwight Evans, State Rep Isabella Fitzgerald, City Council at Large Derek Green, Senator Art Haywood, State Representative Stephen Kinsey, City Councilwoman Sherelle Parker, State Representative Chris Rabb, and Harold Cost. And so let's talk about the details of this grant opportunity. What are the requirements? Who's eligible? What should be taken into consideration when they're applying?
So you want to start, or you want me?
You want to start, Ken? Speak
Sure.
into the mic, speak nice and loud for us.
Okay. Yes.
That's good. Right there. Put it right up there.
Okay. All right. There you go. Yeah, try to adjust it. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not. But the general requirements, as Jim mentioned earlier, start off with, these are grants, as Pamela mentioned. These are grants and not loans. Very important to know that. We have set aside out of the $200 million, $100 million has been set aside for historically disadvantaged businesses, which would be Black, Hispanic, Asian, and Pacific Islanders and Native Americans. So there's a separate bucket right for that. If you are female, I get this question like every day. So if you're a female, obviously, if you're a female of color, any of those distinctions we just mentioned, you would go into that bucket that $100 million is set apart from. Everybody else would be in the Main Street funding, but there are some extra points that will be given towards females, even in the Main Street businesses. So, which leads into this whole thing that this is not a first come, first served program. I know a lot of people had that problem under the PPP program where they were shut out early on. So this is a grant system that's set up based on a scorecard system where you'll be receiving points, and then we'll be looking at the scores based on those organizations that have applied, and that will be how it is determined as far as who's receiving grants. By the way, there's also 4 rounds of funding. So if you have any time to get your paperwork together, or for whatever reason you're busy over the next 2 weeks, there'll be 3 more rounds of funding opportunities. And once you apply once, you automatically go down to each round of funding. So that's the launch of the program. The qualifications in general, the business has to be less than $1 million in gross revenue. Less than $1 million in gross revenue.
And again, I'm going to ask, can everybody hear, Ken?
I'm sorry, I cannot hear clearly.
Let me see. Let me try to take this out.
Same as me, a little bit.
Yeah, I'm
voice
sure.
Sorry about that.
It's coming in very low, Ken.
Very low. Okay, hold on. How about if I unplug?
That's better.
Is that better? Okay.
Yes.
Let me do the volume control right here. Okay. All right. I'm sorry about that. Yes, sometimes the headphone works better, sometimes it doesn't. So again, did anyone need me to repeat? Did you hear any of what I gathered earlier about the program?
I think it was coming in low.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so the eligibility requirements now basically starts with is you have to have less than $1 million in gross revenue. So less than 1 million in gross revenue and less than 25 full-time equivalent employees. So a part-time employee will count as 0.5. So it doesn't matter how many hours they're under. If they're not a full-time employee, they will just count as a half of an employee. So technically you could have 50 part-time employees for this program. So those are the main start-off kind of qualifications. After that, we need your tax returns, because what this is based on is your revenue. So if you have less than $1 million, you qualify. The next step would be based on your revenue, and that's how they're determining grant qualifications. So as far as eligibility, not qualifications, really eligibility would be from different periods, and should I have the sheet in front of me? But let's basically say it starts out if you're below $50,000 or somewhere in that neighborhood, it's 5,000. Jim probably has to shoot probably knows exactly, or has it memorized by now. And for each different level of your revenue, that would increase your grant all the way up to $50,000. You're only allowed to apply one time. It's one business, one owner of the business will be applying for the grants. So earlier today, I had someone who asked me about they had multiple businesses. No, only one business is allowed. And if you're in a partnership, only one of the partners is allowed to apply. So that's sort of the basic parameters of this. There are 17 CDFIs working on this program. You can go to any of our websites. Our website I gave you earlier, which is beachinterflex.com. Jim will give you his when as part of the presentation. And on that website, it says PA COVID grants. You would click on that, and there's a FAQ for questions. So if you have many questions, it's already listed out there. There's also a portal you can go to that has the guidelines that actually will show you pictures of each of the screens for your application. Go in the process of filling out the application. But those in general are the steps to getting it going. But you must have your tax return for 2018 or 2019. Either one of those is valid. You're going to then write explaining why you were affected by, what your loss was, your loss of revenue was, or if you needed some additional funding to make improvements because of COVID, or why it is you're requesting this grant, and that'll be all laid out for you in the application process. Okay.
So
Jim,
I'm sorry, go ahead, Pam.
Can you share with us the types of businesses that would qualify for this grant in terms of service companies, retail companies, and things of that nature? And I think Ken had started to mention the levels. I think if you have the levels in front of you and can share that with our audience, that would be good too. And some
Sure.
of the deadlines.
Sure. So what I'll do, Pam, is go through what our priorities are, what our preferences are, and how they impact also. So we are prioritizing, as you can see, well, actually the state did this, Senator Hughes, Hayward, they focused on creating that 100 million pool of dollars for historically disadvantaged businesses. And that includes African American, Hispanic, Native American, Asian American, and Pacific Islander. So right off the bat, once you go in, you designate your race. If you are a part of that group, you will go into that pool. So that's $100 million. Other priorities include businesses owned and operated by low income or moderate income business owners. And also, or those businesses happen to be located in a low income or moderate income community. So you would get some benefit from that being a priority. In addition to that, we included rural communities. Pennsylvania is a very large state with a lot of rural communities that have some of the same challenges that we do in Philadelphia's urban community. And so we wanted to make sure that they had an opportunity to access these funds as well. The industries that we're focused on, and I'll go into this a little bit more, is there's certain industries and sectors include retail, food, hospitality, health and wellness, personal care, which is beauty salons, nail salons, spas, barbershops, child care, and adult care. And when we say hospitality, that also can include like bed and breakfast, hotel, motel, and the such. Additionally, we have provided some preferences to women-owned businesses and businesses operating and participating in one of the following designated revitalization programs, including Main Street program, the Elm Street program, Trail Town program, PA Wilds program, and also for Philadelphia in particular, which is important to this group, is Philadelphia's designated commercial corridors. And you can check with the Commerce Department to see if your business is located on one of Philadelphia's designated commercial corridors, but there is a preference to businesses that are. And then for those businesses in Pittsburgh, it's actually called the neighborhood business districts. But those will give you some additional priorities. Ken mentioned, so let me take a quick stop here, because Ken also mentioned that the amounts, but I also want to point out, if you go to the top of the chat, I put in there what's called a NAICS code, and it's www.naics.com. That's where you can go in and determine where your industry is. So if you're not familiar with the term NAICS code, you can go into that website to get what what industry you happen to be in. And you can just put the industry name in, and it should pop up what your code is. And it's a 6-digit code. You don't, and I have to go back and check with our portal provider whether you have to put in the code or just your industry, and we have them all listed, and you just have to pick the one, because I'm not sure at the moment and I don't want to give you bad information. The other thing that I wanted to do real quick, Pam, is to just, am I able to share my screen?
I believe so.
All right, well, let's try.
Yes, I think because we're in Google Meet, you don't even have to give my permission. I don't think. I think you can just go ahead and do it.
Let's see if I can see us.
Now, while Jim is doing that, I want to mention that Ron Williford is on this call. He is one of the consultants with the Business Center. So if you are, I guess, having some challenges with filling out the paperwork that Jim and Ken are mentioning, he will be available to assist. You will call our office and make an appointment, or you can email us at education@thebizctr.com. And it's also on our website how to make an appointment, and it's thebizctr.com.
It's saying that I can't do it. So
it's saying you can't do it?
Yeah. Sure. I must grant permission. I don't even have control.
Well, just grant permission. I think
I
it'll
don't
let
even know
you
how
in
to
as soon
grant
as you
permission.
say
So
accept it.
what I can,
if it's just something to click.
Yeah. What I can do is
saying something. Who was it?
You should be able to give him permission. If you're the presenter, you should be able to give him permission.
Okay. So let me see. Do I see that? Because I'm admitting people from my screen, but we actually set this up from our education email.
That's okay.
But I
what
think if I'm able to admit people, I should also be able to.
What we can do is just we can
share whatever.
So if Pam, if you can share your
I have
screen,
everybody's email.
If you can click on the pabusinessgrants.com, I want to take you right to the site.
Okay, let me see. Let me see here. And you said you put it in the chat.
Yes, it's at the top of the chat.
Okay. So it's taking me to the website,
and you just need to share your
and let me
screen.
see if I can share this.
And the reason for me trying to do this is I want to be able to show
Okay.
people exactly what they're going to be looking at, as opposed to, the last couple of weeks we have been talking theoretically, and I'd rather you actually take a look at the web page, and so we can at least get you through the portion that that has given some people some challenges. So the first thing that you should know is you should try to use the Google Chrome browser versus any other browser. We've been having some trouble with either Safari or Internet Explorer. So we want to make sure that you're using a Google Chrome browser. So if you guys, even on your home computers while you're watching us fiddle around here, if you want to pull up pabusinessgrants.com yourself, I can kind of walk you through the initial portion of it. And then Pam, if you get it up, that would be great. And if not, we'll just keep going this way. So if you look on the page, pabusinessgrants.com, that you'll see a picture.
Well, let me ask this question: Is everybody able to click on that link that Jim put in the chat? Because that'll take you right to the screen that he's talking about as well. I'm not sure why it's not coming up here, but is everybody able to click on that as he's speaking? Yes, no?
Okay. So,
Are you guys able to click on that link in the chat box? pabusinessgrants.com? Well, okay.
Is it
Continue.
grants.com? Grants.
Well, it's right in the chat box. It's right in the chat box. So literally click on chat.
it's not grants.gov, it's grants.com.
It's grants.com. But it's right in the chat box. It's the first item in our chat box. Just click on that. Okay, Debbie's saying yes. So I'm going to assume that most people are able. Yes. Okay,
wonderful.
Good. So continue, Jim.
Okay, so if you're on that first page, you should see a picture of various business owners, but just below the picture, there is a link for you to click Start Your Application. Don't push it yet. I'm pointing it out to you. If you go further down, you will also see the grant amounts. So let's go through the grant amounts real quick. The grant amounts are $0 to $50,000 in revenue. You are eligible for a $5,000 grant. Between $50,000 and $75,000, you are eligible for a $10,000 grant. Between $75,000 and $100,000, you are eligible for a $15,000 grant. Between $100,000 and $250,000, it's a $20,000 grant. Over $250,000 to $500,000 is a $25,000 grant. Over $500,000 to $750,000 is a $35,000 grant. Over $750,000 to $850,000 is a $40,000 grant. And over $850,000 to $1 million is $50,000.
Jim, can you see it on the screen now?
I can. Yes, that looks great. Awesome.
Okay.
So that's exactly what I was just going through. I want to make sure that everybody understands that your grant size is determined by the annual revenue that you submit in the tax return that you provide us. And as Ken said earlier, it's either your 2018 or your 2019 tax return. And the tax return has to be the one that you most recently submitted. So if you haven't submitted your 2019 tax return, you can submit your 2018. But if you have submitted your 2019, you have to use your 2019 tax return. So Pam, if you can.
My voice on.
I got it.
If you
Please
can,
put yourself on mute if you're not speaking.
Sorry about that. If you can go back up to that where I showed the Start Your Application button.
right there.
Yep, and just click on Start Your Application, and hopefully you'll be able to show everything. All right, great. So for some of you who may be, this is where you're going to come to. These are all the 67 counties. You can scroll down. These are all the 67 counties in the state of Pennsylvania. So if you happen to be from Philadelphia or Montgomery County, you would click on the county that you are located in. So if you could click on Philadelphia. So what happens is all of the CDFIs that are representing Philadelphia County are going to come up. So you see the CDFIs that are representing this Philadelphia County. All of these CDFIs are actually located in Philadelphia County. What the other benefit is that you see two places where you can punch for each CDFI. There's learn more about the CDFI, and there's start your application. One of the things that we are recommending that let's not make this a one-time thing for us. Let's make this a relationship. One of the challenges with most small businesses is that they have not established relationships with financial institutions. Here are 10 financial institutions that you can start to do your research on to determine which organization might be the best fit for your business. All of that being understood, we know that you're here to try to get the grant. So let's push start your application. And it doesn't matter which CDFI you select. But again, if you're trying to find out more about what CDFI may be best for you, then do a little bit of research. But otherwise, Pam, you can push start your application.
So the two CDFIs that we have here today are numbers 6, which is Beech Capital, and number 11, which is West Philadelphia Financial Services Institution.
Let me say this because it's important, is that this is a rotating, so this is random, so it's not going to come up the same every time. Okay, so so saying 6 or 11 is not really important because at some point Beech might be the first one that comes up, or WPFSI might be the first one that comes up.
Okay, so I'm going to click Start Your Application. I'm sorry, my computer is... So while this is loading, does anyone have any questions?
Yes, Pam, I have a question. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Our business is new. We basically only operated in primarily in the fourth quarter last year. We haven't done taxes yet.
Okay, that's okay.
Can we just stop the process?
You're still eligible.
Jim, you want to address that?
You're still eligible. You just need to fill out the information in the grant. If you guys are still on your own computers and you have already clicked start your application, you should have, if you've clicked one of the companies in the right hand corner of, okay, wonderful.
It's up now. It's on the screen.
Still the same here.
Then what would be next? It is?
Still the same here.
Let me see if I hit share this tab.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay, so in the right-hand corner, you will see the CDFI that you've chosen to work with. If you can scroll up just a little bit, Pam.
Okay.
Thank you. So you'll see Beech in your right-hand corner if you've chosen Beech to work with, and they will be your CDFI of choice. And Beech is prepared to help your organization. In addition to that, we have a call center that will help you. Also, you have Pam's organization that is willing to help you pull together documents, make copies, do things of that nature. One of the things we wanted to make sure that we had is multiple layers of contact for small businesses to help them get through this application process. We understand that over the last 4 months, if you haven't been generating revenue, if you've gotten other anxieties related to COVID, if you, unfortunately, your business was damaged due to some civil unrest, there is a lot of anxiety in the marketplace right now. And so we want to provide as many people that can help you get through this process, and partnerships like partnering with the Business Center. That being said, please don't let the application scare you. There are resources and people to help you get through the application. So if you look on the right-hand side, you'll see this box that says qualifications. At the bottom, you can scroll down. So at the bottom of that, it says application certification. I'm not sure how fast your machine's going to book, but if you click on application certification, you will see a list of certifications that come up. With that list of certifications, once it comes up, you must complete the list of certifications. You can either print it out or you can fill it out electronically, but you must provide a signature at the bottom of the application. So you have to sign off on it, which means at some point you will have to print the document. You can then scan it back and have it available for downloading later in the application process.
Right on.
Can everybody see this? Applicant certification?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Pam, if you go back, and you can't go back from here, but if you click on the other window that's open, and it will take you back to the application page where you saw Beech in purple and white. There
Right.
we go. Awesome. So what we're going to do now is start your application. You don't need to worry about the sign in your account because you don't have an account yet. So now you're going to click on apply now. And while that is working its way out, you'll see down on the right-hand corner, there was Beech's information. You can start to fill out you can have the way to contact Beech or our call center. So we are not going to be able to walk through this entire document just because of the way the document is set up. But I wanted to be able to show you how to get to at least this point on the document, especially considering we had some challenges yesterday with the browser that we were using, or that small businesses that were using, and also with the certification, and people weren't sure about why that certification was coming up, and was it important for them to complete and download back into the documents once it's required. You will have to fill in your name, your address, your owner's cell phone, your business name, your last name, confirm your email address, confirm your cell phone and business. Once you hit save and next, you are in the system. This is a one-page application. That's all there is. The purple bullets on the on the left-hand side, you must complete all of those bullets. Once you finish completing all of those bullets, you'll be able to save your application, and you will then get a password and a username. You have to change your username. Not your username. You have to change your password. You can create your own password. Once you've done that, you can then start to submit your documents.
Excuse me, gentlemen. The one thing that people have been having trouble with also, you have to check your email to receive your password. A lot of people, their password, that email was going to their junk mail. So if you don't see it, check your junk mail file. Be on the alert to look for an email that will have that password.
That is an excellent point. And it had been a problem for some folks. Please check your junk mail. So what are the documents that you're going to need to submit? And Pam, you can either leave that up or take it down. It's up to you. We're moving past that. So I just wanted to get you to that point and you get through the application, you get your password, you change your password, and then you start to upload your documentation. Okay.
So Ken was alluding to some good tips as you fill out the application that Jim just shared with us. So one is to check your junk mail, but another tip is to make sure you check off text messages if you want things to go to
Absolutely.
text messaging. And are there any other quick tips that people need to be mindful of?
Also on the certification, we were having so much trouble yesterday where people were getting the application completed and then never downloaded the certification form and couldn't get back to the home page. So we actually put an extra tab on our website so that you can actually go right to it on our website where you'll see apply here. Underneath of that, there's the portal guidebook information, but we also placed a tab on there so you could actually just even download it right from our website if need be, because we were receiving so many questions about that. Also, I think, Jim, we should probably go back, if we go back to the apply here, underneath of that was the information that you tabs for the frequently asked questions and also the portal guidebook that you can click on and receive that information.
So did you want me to go back to the
if you pull that page
application?
Yes,
Okay.
not the application, but where you just went to the PA Business Grants website.
Correct.
That landed page.
Start application?
Yeah. So,
No, the original landing page.
Right. Yeah. So where it has start application.
Right here? Oh, eligibility,
So
grant amounts.
right. So it says eligibility grant amounts, but right above that.
Can you see it?
No.
So if you go back to the original pabusinessgrants.com page,
yeah.
And right below the photos and then just below that, it says start your application. There's a paragraph there. Right below them, there is a frequently asked questions guide. So essentially you can see all the questions that other people have been asking, and they will help you work your way through. Go ahead.
Can you
I can't
see
at the
this?
moment.
Can you see it?
No, it's not up on you.
Okay, so let me try to share it.
So there's also Lendistry's portal guide that will walk you through the process of submitting your grant. So a lot of the same things that I'm telling you now, I'm saying directly from the portal guide.
If you
okay, I'm just going to share that page again.
You can just go back from there, Pam.
Okay.
And one more time.
Okay. This is called learning on the fly.
Yeah, but I think one of the things that's important is that you see the application before you get in. I think a lot of people, again, got intimidated by the application itself and the process of getting to it. And Ken has been extremely helpful in giving you guys these tips to get you through this process. So if you see right at the bottom of that page, it says FAQ. You can click on that, and there you go. What can the funds be used for? There are answers to most of the commonly used questions in this FAQ.
Everybody see that?
If you go back, if you go back to the other side, back to the last page.
You want me to go back?
Go back.
The
No,
same
go back.
page. Go back. Okay, let me see if I can go back.
Or just get back to where we just left.
Right here?
No, so back to the home page.
The home page. Okay, let me see if I can go to the home page. This page? Oh, you can't see it. Wait a minute. This page?
There you go. And go back, just scroll down a little bit to where we just were. And now you see Lendistry portal guide next to the FAQ.
Click on that. Okay.
This guide will walk you through the entire process.
I found this to be very helpful for people as they went through last night. People were playing screens, so they went through. And what they really like about it is it shows each one of the screens step by step. So you'll get a chance to see the screens. And if you're using two systems, if you have a laptop and you have your phone, you can maybe pull this up while you're filling out your application, and it will really help you guide you through the process.
So one of the good things, so sometimes we get new toys, new phone, new television, new car, and inside are the directions on how to put it together or how to do things. And we just run to the thing because I know how to do it. Here are the directions. This is going to help you, walk you through the process. All the stuff I was just trying to show you on the system to get you in and get your application completed. What we don't want to have happen at the end of the next, by July 15th, is incomplete applications. We are really trying to make sure you get your full application into the system.
So as part of that, I would also.
How many pages is this
The
application?
application is one. This is not the application. This is a portal guide. Just want to make sure we're clear.
Right. The instructions. Right.
All right.
Okay.
Where do you go to get to this instructions that they call it? Application?
So it's on the main page of pabusinessgrants.com, and it says Lendistry Portal Guide. See right here.
Oh, I see.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
The other thing, let me suggest that people are running the problems who are using their mobile phones to try to do the application. Now, yes, you can use your phones. People have been successful, but also because of the screen size, and if your signal gets cut off or whatever, the system's going to freeze, or then you're getting locked out. You're having to start over, and also you may not be able to see some of these submit buttons because of, depending on the formatting of your telephone when this comes up. Much easier if you can actually use a tablet or a regular laptop or desktop computer. You can do it on your phone, but these are just some of the issues that people have been running into.
And I guess before I leave this page, did you want to talk about ineligible businesses? Because I noticed that's a page under the Lendistry Portal Guide. Should I go to that page, or you guys want to just talk about that for a second?
If you can go to the page, it's fine. That's one of the things we'd like to talk about, and it's really important at this particular juncture.
Okay.
And while you're getting there, just quickly again, the documents that you're going to need is also there. Again, your 2018-19 tax return. If you start up your business in 2019 and have not yet filed your 2019 tax return, you may also submit a financial statement as of December 31st, 2019. If you are a startup as of January 1st and before February 15th, you can provide an interim financial statement for March 31st, 2020. Additional documentation is your verification of doing business with the state of Pennsylvania, articles of incorporation, certificate of organization, fictitious name registration, and government issued license. All of those are acceptable. Government issued license could be, if you're a sole proprietor, daycare owner, you only have your license to be a daycare, but you haven't registered as a LLC or a corporation, you can provide that and use that. And then we also must.
So they just have to select.
I'm sorry?
Just one of these? They just need to select one of these documents, Jim?
Whichever one is appropriate for their particular business.
Okay.
And then you need to have some type of photo ID, preferably a state photo ID, some government ID. Now, what businesses are not eligible? Any business that's not physically located in Pennsylvania. Now, your business can have been filed in the state of New Jersey. It could be filed in the state of Delaware. It could be filed in Ohio, West Virginia, Maryland. But if you do 51% of your business and you're physically located in the state of Pennsylvania, you are eligible for this grant. Okay, so we just want to make sure And the 51% is really important. This is another one of those certifications. If you're certifying that this information is accurate, that even though you do business in other states, you do 51% in Pennsylvania, you must have records at some point in time if you were ever audited. Businesses that are active in default of taxes owed to the federal government or the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So in this case, if you're currently either in default or if you're active default, then you need to get caught up. If you're behind on your taxes, then you need to get in a plan. In either case, the state will provide you, if you do those things, the state will provide you with a certification that you have brought your business into compliance. That compliance document is sufficient to let us know that you can proceed. And again, we're not going to stop you, but you're going to have to provide us something because we are going to check with the state to see if you're current. And so if it pops up that something's wrong, we will contact you and say, hey, this is saying that you are not in compliance. You need to go. More than likely, you know whether you're in compliance or not. So if you know you're not in compliance, please contact the Revenue Department of the state of Pennsylvania or the IRS. Businesses engaged in activity that are illegal under federal, state, or local law. Business.
And by the way, you cannot apply for this money to be used to pay your taxes.
Correct.
And cannot use this funding to pay your taxes.
That is one of the big no-nos. You can't use federal money or state money to pay off federal or state taxes. It's just not allowed. The businesses owned or controlled by or guaranteed a loan by the state of Pennsylvania, if you have defaulted on any federal or state obligation, you're not eligible. Any nonprofit, churches, or other religious institutions, financial businesses, including lending institutions, banks, finance companies, or factors, passive real estate companies, and investors who file a Schedule E on their personal tax returns are not eligible. Real estate businesses in which the majority, 51% of their income is rental income, are also not eligible. Life insurance companies, private clubs, government entities, individuals doing political lobbying, businesses engaged in illegal activities, or also undesirable businesses such as pawn shops, rent-to-own, check cashing businesses, and adult bookstore. So the final one is really important because there has been some confusion around it. It is an owner of 20% or more of the equity of an applicant is incarcerated, on probation, on parole, presently subject to indictment, criminal information, arraignment, or other means by which formal criminal charges are brought in any jurisdiction. You are not eligible. Okay, that's just flat out, you are not eligible. Or have been convicted of a felony involving fraud, bribery, embezzlement, or false statement in a loan application or an application for federal financial assistance within the last 5 years. Again, this is a financial fraud-based crime specifically. And that is the 5-year limitation. Then it goes into or other felony within the last year. So as long as you aren't currently on probation, incarcerated, or on parole, have created a financial crime that wasn't 5 years ago, or within the last year for any crime, you are eligible for this grant. There's unfortunately, this is a federal guideline. There's nothing we can do about it. I was on a presentation this morning with Senator Hughes. He said, if you want to do something about it, go vote. But that's one of the really important pieces that I think it's important to understand. But the good thing is that most of you, hopefully, even if you've had some criminal issues, that we're only really looking back a year, unless you had a financial crime.
I'm going to close this out and take some questions. We have a quiet group today. Must be taking all of this in, so they don't have much to say. So we have 6 minutes remaining, and I think that Jim and Ken have done an excellent job thoroughly sharing with our audience the details of this grant opportunity. And I would like to find out and pause again and see if there are any questions. We got one question earlier, but maybe there's some more.
In the chat box, someone asked, can it be signed digitally? Yes, it has to be signed digitally. Always has to be updated.
Oh, will the 1099 employees be counted as staff? Okay, I'm seeing that too.
What was that question?
So what's the answer to that? Will 1099 employees be counted as staff?
No.
No. Okay. And then Hugh Hong wants the website typed in. I'm not sure which website you're referring to, Hugh Hong. So
yes, I find the website actually. It's the
you found it?
Yeah, I find it. It's the first website Jam sent.
Okay.
HTTP. Yeah, I find it. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. And then not sure what Jamal didn't see, but probably after I shared the screen, hopefully you saw what you needed to see. And a couple of people were saying I don't see things. So once I started sharing, you could see it. Now, here's a question that Francesca is asking. Are new businesses ineligible? So let's talk about the dates that you can be considered as a new business and still be eligible for this grant opportunity.
So yeah, the last date is February 15th. So if you started your business after February 15th, you are not eligible for this grant.
Okay, thank you, Jim. And can everybody see everything that we're saying is popping up on the screen as well? So hopefully you can see that, and that's helpful. So we still have 4 minutes remaining, and we've tackled all our chat questions. Are there any questions that people want to just ask Ken and Jim while we have our 4 minutes remaining? This is very, very good and very informative.
All right. Maria,
okay,
before you guys leave, I wanted first of all to thank you. I was one of those people that at first I thought I was intimidated by the by the application. So this made it so much easier to navigate. I really thank you guys for having this session. It really made me feel a little better. I have a question. When you're running a company and you have an operating agreement, if one of the individuals, meaning me, women own 51%, can I single-handedly apply for this loan, or it has to be in conjunction with the 49% minority owner as well?
You would apply as a 51% owner.
Okay. That's what I wanted to make sure. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And by the way, just to mention that, so some clarity sake, because we've been getting this a lot with 50-50 partnerships, you need to be 51%. 50% doesn't cut it. That puts you into the Main Street, or even as, only one partner can apply for this grant. So people who are equal partners cannot be, you need to be 51% in order to get into the historically disadvantaged bucket. And on the other side, too, only one of the partners will apply.
And
Thanks again.
okay, go ahead. Okay, you're welcome. Again, I want to mention that what was mentioned at the beginning by Ken, this is not a first come, first serve basis grant. And I think Jim also mentioned that. And some people ask what happens if you apply in the first round and you're not selected, what happens to your application? So do we want to address that whole process?
Yes, yes. You apply one time, you will automatically flow into the next several rounds until the program's over. So if you're not, not approved in the first round, you'll go to the second round. You don't have to reapply. Then you would go into the third if you're not chosen. Hopefully, by the third or fourth round, you would be chosen to receive one of the grants. But you only apply one time, and you will automatically flow into the following rounds.
So altogether, there are 4 rounds.
Correct.
Yes, as of the moment, we have some flexibility with that, but right now it's definitely going to be 2 rounds, and we have set it up to be 4 rounds. The other thing I think is important to just be clear is you should apply. You should apply. You should apply. There are a lot of businesses in Pennsylvania under this below 25 employees. But there are, if you just think about what we talked about in terms of our priorities and our preferences, a commercial corridor in Philadelphia, a low-income community, a low-income, low and middle income business owner. Again, there are preferences that benefit, not overly benefit Philadelphia, but tend to benefit some of the things that we're doing. We have a couple of women-owned businesses that are here today. And again, those are some preferences and some benefits that you're going to have. And so we want to make sure that you're applying, especially if, again, those anxieties are getting up. We'd rather you just, quite frankly, shut it down, walk away from a minute, come back to the application and fill it out. And don't let the frustration of it get to you. And if you're still having a challenge, contact one of our organizations, whichever one you're working with, or the call center, and get the help you need to complete your application.
Okay, it's 3:01. I have to get off, but again, my pleasure being here. And
Okay.
if you have any questions, of course, please contact us through the website. I put my information in the chat line for the organization. That's why we're here. We want everyone to be successful, and I'm wishing everyone the best in receiving one of these grants.
Thank you so much, Ken. I'm going to share Rachel's question, and then I'm going to close us out. Rachel's question was, he's a sole proprietor, and she wanted to know if she's a consultant with no employees working from home, can she apply? And the answer was yes, she can apply, and that was given by Jim Burnett. I also put our website in there, the Biz Center, where we have information, and we'll have information about all the grant opportunities that are available. And there are some that are still available. Again, our website is thebizzctr.com. And I believe Jim put his website in, and also Ken put his website address in. So we want to thank you all for joining us. I hope that this has been informative, and we're here for you to decrease that anxiety and make sure you go ahead and try. As they say, nothing beats a failure but a try. So go ahead. You have nothing to lose, only things to gain to help your business as you move forward. So thank you again for joining us, and have a good rest of the week.
Thank you.